So how do you pitch your product? Does anybody know what it means to pitch? Do you understand what that is? What's it mean?
Pretty sure it's put it out to the world.
Right, put it out to the world. So let's say you've got this product, right? We're going to say it's a bucket. You've got a bucket, and everything you've been working on from your heart, your soul, your film, and your people is in this bucket. And now you want somebody to see it. So you have to pitch it to somebody. You have to say, here's my product. And how should that pitch look? And sometimes you have to pitch yourself just to get a meeting, right? Because people are busy, they don't have any time. You put all your heart and soul and money and your parents' money and everything you had into this, and then nobody gives you the time of day to look at it. And that would be a disaster because all your hard work then maybe would never be seen, right? And you guys, how many, what about movies? We're on Teenage Mutant Ninja, what number? What was that movie? Right, so how many, and there's, Shrek 4 and 5, and where's the original scripts? Where are your original products out in the world of entertainment? They're not in there as much as they used to be. It used to be a new movie all the time. And now there's so many sequels because people don't know how to pitch their original products. So that's what I'm going to tell you a little bit of how to do, because every day in business, people are pitching everything. So when I came down to Charleston, I wanted to meet with some business people to see if my business would fit in this city. And I was told I needed to pitch to the port authorities. So let me show you what I created right here. So I could have just sent them a letter. I could have gone on the phone and hounded them and said, I'm really cool, you want to meet me, please give me a meeting. But I didn't think that would work, and they get people pitching them all day long, so I had to do something different. So what I did is I went to an antique mall, right, and I found this treasure chest. And then I bought all these cheap little gold spoons and beads, and I wrapped up a letter and I put it in a bottle, and that's how I said I would like to meet you. And they called me in an hour to set up a meeting. Now most people just call and annoy people, or they send them letters like just a plain two-dimensional thing, but my world is three-dimensional, right? So you guys are filmmakers, so I want to teach you how to take your property and add a three-dimensional element to it so that you can stand out. So as you see that we have the treasure chest, what we did on the top of the treasure chest, the next slide, is we put the right thing. It's hard to say, but it says there's a world of treasure in our ports of call, right? So ports of call is, the ocean, and all the containers come here, and I wanted to meet them. So all I did was take some font, I slid it in the box that was already there, and I put my information in it. So what I'm asking you is, now that you're going to have wonderful properties, how are you going to send that out? So I'd like to show you some of what Hollywood does to send out their movies. Even though they have a really big title with a successful cast, they don't always get the attention and the publicity they need. So it's almost like a puzzle. So imagine your story. Let's say your story is about Charleston, your film you're making. You have all like West Ashley, downtown, North Charleston. Well, sometimes when you're pitching, rather than just have the whole pitch, you can break it up into pieces. And that's what we did with Shark Tale. Every month we sent a different character, and then we were allowed to tell the press about the interesting cast, and we kept it interesting, and each character fit into the diorama. So at the end of a year, you had your entire cast, you had everything about that cast, and you were really excited for the movie to come out. Now today in Hollywood, these pieces are still one of the most talked about pieces in film promotion. They're still on the big executive desks, and I still get calls every now and then like, I need another Angelina Jolie or another Will Smith or another character. So that was Shark Tale. So this was a piece we did for Chicken Run, and this is how I'm going to teach you how to be resourceful. What Hollywood does is they send these things I make to the press so they get good write-ups on their movies. So for Chicken Run, we sent an egg. We created an Egg of the Month Club. All right? And so each month we sent a different egg. But this is about being resourceful. I needed eggs. So how was I going to imprint a logo on an egg? I didn't need an actual egg. I needed a plastic egg, a wooden egg, a ceramic egg. And so I was like, where am I going to find eggs to make? And I was at Lowe's, and I needed a new refrigerator because my the neighborhood kids were all at my house and they broke it. And I opened up the refrigerator, and have you ever seen the fake food in a refrigerator? I'm like, oh, there's my eggs. There were fake eggs. So what I did is I was like, where do these eggs come from? Telling the guy at Lowe's. He's like, I don't know, lady. They're fake celery, we get fake cheese, we get fake eggs. So I called and emailed, and I went to Lowe's, and I found the company that made the fake eggs. I called that company and I said, I'm doing a big mailing and I want to buy your eggs. And I wound up buying 250,000 eggs to work on this promotion. But, so after I got my eggs and went through all this complicated printing process, which I won't bore you with, I'm like, how am I going to ship these eggs? And I needed the right box, right? So I looked for boxes, I went to like storage places, I went to box companies. And sure enough, I'm like, I don't like any of these boxes. They're too hard to open, they cost too much. Does that box look familiar to anybody? What? Who said that? Big Mac.
No,
Yes.
The hamburger container.
I was eating a Big Mac, and I'm like, this is the box. This is my box. I'm like, does anybody realize this is the box that I've been looking for 2 weeks? So literally, I ate my Big Mac. I went around to the back of McDonald's. I parked in the back. I knocked on the door. I'm like, hey, I need a box. I need 250,000 boxes, really. And they literally sold me their blank boxes out of the back of McDonald's. 250,000 of them. Now, I'm telling you that to tell you to be resourceful. So what if they said no? So what if they said, lady, we don't want to talk to you. Get out of here. I would find somebody else. I would find out, where does that box come from? And if I ever worked at McDonald's, rather than being like, my life sucks because I'm working at McDonald's, I'd be like, where do they get their potatoes? How many potatoes do they use? Where's their oil come from? Because everything you learn helps enrich you and teach you how to get through life. Well, that's the story of Moses, right? So if any one of you had a movie here on Prince of Egypt, how do you break up? What are the parts of it that become tangible but not too expensive? So, you know the scene, and as a mother, when, you know, the basket floats down the Nile, and then, you know, she gets it and all that. So, in the town that I lived in, there was a place that knitted fabric. So I found the Dreamworks logo, and I went into that thing, and I said, can you knit me this logo in a fabric? And they knit me a swaddling cloth with the Dreamworks logo in it. Then I went to Michael's Crafts. I love Michael's Crafts, as you can tell. And I bought a basket like you would find that would float down the Nile. Then I went out to the back pond where we used to live, and I cut cattails and reeds. See, and there was a hurricane that weekend. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, could it get any harder? So I cut all this stuff, all these bushes. I got a giant box, and I put it all together. Then I sent it overnight to Dreamworks, to the top person of creative. So when they got my package, they got this big box. They opened it up. They had to go through the cattails, through the reeds, take out the basket. They opened up the basket. There was the cloth with their logo. And my information was inside of that. In an hour, they called me. They're like, who are you? We want to meet with you. You understand our movie. You understand our property. Now, who sends that to people? Who does this stuff? Right? It's like you're just like, this is crazy. People think I'm crazy. I'm like, you're right, because I got to get noticed. Because I work too hard on my blank, fill it in, your movie, your project, whatever you're doing, not to get somebody's attention. So that's the way I pitched it to them. And I still work with them today.